Because you want to improve a process, you want to improve a strategy, you want to improve the implementation, you want to improve anything you want to improve on that piece of work. But it has to go out, because then you're stuck into that, you're stuck into perfection, and you will carry on working over and over on the same thing and forgetting the rest that builds all together.
Hello and welcome to episode 273 of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. I am your host, John Mansfield. I am a wedding and commercial photographer and business coach, helping creatives and business owners just like you build your business, grow your community, and create the lifestyle that you've always dreamed of. And part of that is through this podcast. Before we get into my conversation today with Jona Hysa, I did want to give a quick shout out about our sponsor for today's episode. That is Imagine AI. I've talked to a lot of people about Imagine and a lot of people about AI editing. And I think there's a common misconception about AI editing that it's just like this algorithm and this robot that's just like slapping presets on there and just being like, here, there's something. This looks good. Here you go. And like takes your creativity out of it and your personal touch. That is not at all how Imagine works. So Imagine actually works by learning from the steps that you take from the raw image to the final edited image, and then it replicates your editing style whenever you send new raws for it to edit. I love it. I have, I think last year they did like a Spotify wrapped kind of thing for Imagine, and I think I had like 83 hours that it had saved for me throughout the year, and that is a lot of hours of staying up till 2 a.m. getting those edits done, and hitting edging up against deadlines where you're just like, oh, I gotta get this out, and that is not what we're doing anymore. And Imagine really helps with that. So go check out Imagine. You can get 1,500 images edited for free by going to allheartphoto.com/AI and go check out Imagine. Now, let's get into my episode with Jona Hysa. Jona is a women empowerment speaker, social media strategist, and the founder of the Moving Women Forward community and podcast. And we get into a lot today. She has a great 3-step strategy of how you can like get stuff going. It's her accountability strategy of moving stuff from like your to-do list and your I'm gonna do this, and like over analyzing everything, trying to make it perfect before you get out there and do it, and really helping you to actually get out there and do the thing. So I'm very excited for you to listen to this episode. Let's get into my conversation with Jona Hysa. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. If you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, just join in the chat. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. If you have comments, if you're just like, hey, I like the books behind you, Jona, comment that too. And but yeah, we're talking about a 3-step accountability framework, and I'm excited to get into our conversation. So yeah, Jona, let's get started. Welcome to the show.
Amazing. Thank you so much, John, for offering me this space. By the way, the books are not mine. I wish they were all mine, but they are in the background. So it's Riverside background filter, basically. So they're not mine.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought that it might be, but I was like, I like the books. I like the aesthetic anyway. I need to add more books back here. I just have cameras, which I guess is appropriate. I'm a photographer,
Absolutely.
but no, yeah, I'm excited to chat with you today. Could you give us a little background about what you do, where you're located, and all that?
Absolutely. So I am based in London, UK. It's been a very pretty muggy weather, very gloomy. However, yes, talking about what I do. So I'm a social media strategist. I'm the founder of Time for PA, as well as the founder of Moving Women Forward community. It's a platform with a simple mission to help 100 women in 100 days move from stuck to empowered through strategy and accountability, which I'm assuming we're going to talk shortly. Expert-led support and mentoring, as well as podcast spotlight and networking opportunities. So basically, in a nutshell, what do? I help you teach the planning drawer and keep you accountable with your goals with my free step framework, which is strategy, structure, and consistency. So now I don't want to go very over to go over with my talk here, but it's the same framework that I use for my life, for my business, and therefore I use that for my clients and for my community.
Okay, great. You're like, you know what? I've seen this work for myself. Let's get it working for you too. Uh, which I love. That is, I feel like that is like the best way to get into it is just like, okay, this has been proven. I can do this. You can too.
It's not because it's proven just on my business and myself, but it's also on clients' side and on members. So everything has to have a strategy in place. Otherwise, you are really and honestly wasting your time, your minutes, and your money. You're leaving money on the table here if there is nothing in a strategic way. So if you are doing things sporadically, if you're picking up different conversation as in tasks can be different ways of promoting yourself, going in the digital world. So if you're going and jumping from one spot to the other, so if you're the bee pollinating each flower in a separate way, then I'm not sure you're gonna be as productive as a bee for many reasons that we know. But there you go. So it's millions of bees together that they build up the empire, right? Whereas it's just you, the bee. It's one single bee
Yes.
in the hive, basically. So that's how I see it.
Yeah. You'll be busy as a bee, but not very productive.
Exactly, exactly. The more efficient you are, the more
Yeah.
you practice into getting into the things that you are planning to or in your goals, the easier it will be to achieve those goals. So talking about achievements and goals
Mm.
and things. All right. We have many goals. We have many ideas. We want to do many things at the same time. Some are creative, some are less creative, some are more hands-on approach in their business. Doesn't matter the way you work, but it's the actual quantity of things and how you're prioritizing your work and how you are going to stick to that work, to that project.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us will have these projects and ideas that we get really excited about, and then it's just like the paralysis of like, okay, there, where do I go? I don't know what to do first, so now I'm going to just do nothing, and it will just drift off, and it'll just be an idea that I once had.
Or I will do everything and nothing done properly. This is the other side of the coin, right?
Yeah. So how can we get out of that, either like feeling like we can't do anything or feeling like we have to do all of the things? What are some good ways, like some first steps that we can take to really structurally and efficiently start working on these ideas and plans?
Priority step is to take a piece of paper. If you don't want to use a piece of paper, use a screen, use a CRM, use a template, use your Google Drive. I don't know, anything that you can write on, either with a pen or a pencil or digitally, whatever you want, a calendar, a notes, anything that is accessible to you, that you can easily access. Write down what is the first thing that brings you money in. Now, because we have so many ideas in the planning drawer, I like to call it planning drawer, right? Because I'm a declutter fan. So that's my hobby. So that's the planning drawer, right? You chuck everything in there. But it comes a moment that which one is the most important that has to stay with you. In this case, not stay with you in the drawer, but stay with you in your business journey. So when is the money coming from? Which project? Which idea? If
Okay.
the money is coming from your email marketing, then that's the project you have to pick up now. If it's coming from social media, then that's the now moment to pick up that piece of work, right? Photography, right? Because you're a brand photographer, you do so many shoots,
Right.
right? There you go, John. If photography is there and you're losing money because you are not visible with the right images, with the refreshed images, or with your style image, whatever you're doing, you may be a nutritionist, and then therefore your plates are not showing the way they should be showing up, right? Across digital platforms. That's your priority.
Right.
That's the second step, actually. It's not the first step. The first step is the paper or the resource that you're using to write down the notes. And the second step, which is the utmost important piece of work you want to start off, is the one that is bringing the money. So which project is bringing the money in?
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely seen that in my life before because I am very uh multi-passionate. I have a lot of different things that I really love doing, and some of them are I don't know. I think some of the things that we do are just like they feel more fun because they're new or they're different, and we put a lot of focus into them. But like you were saying with like writing down what makes money, when you look at the numbers, it's like, oh, this is, it might be fun and new, but it is not making me any money, and I'm spending most of my time doing that when this thing over here is making all of the money, and I have just put it on the back burner and am not giving it the care that it needs to continue to make that money.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think that's a really good practice to write that down because I have had to do that for myself to just be like, okay, John, what are you doing? You're spending all of your time on this fun new thing when you're like your marketing over here is just dying and no one is seeing your work. Uh, so okay, so we've
Absolutely.
written down like where is our money coming in? Uh, what do we do? Where are we going next?
Now we break down that one with the things that are going to be able to deliver for us. So if we are doing, I'll go back to social media in this case because that's you know that's my expertise area. What do I need first from social media, right? Now the project is social media. What do I need first from social media? Do I need a lead magnet through social media? So the message I'm conveying and how to get those leads in. Do I need content ideas? Do I need to do a research on competitors? This can be not only related with social media, obviously, it can be business related in the bigger picture. But it's one of those steps that will lead you to creating your strategy around the piece of project that you are going to work on.
Okay.
So again, if it's content, where do I find content ideas? How do I build that library of content? How do I decide which days am I going to post? How am I choosing between platforms, or how am I shifting from one platform to the other, the one that is most relevant to my content? So all these little pieces. So you break it down
Yeah.
basically into smaller tasks.
Yeah, and looking at all of the numbers and the data points and seeing like if you're not reading all of that and looking at your the analytics of where your leads are coming in or where your the most eyes are seeing your work, then you don't really know. You're just you're putting it out because it may be social media, it may be Google, it may be working on more blogs, and that's how people are finding you. And if you don't know, then you're just doing everything, and one of those is really
Absolutely.
working well and the others are just taking up your time.
Yeah. or they are just stagnant. They are not moving anywhere because you haven't put the proper effort. Again,
Mm-hmm.
probably it's not the moment to put the strategy. But if you're losing the money on that piece of the overall business framework, then you have to go back to that little piece. Or no, it's not little piece, but it's little compared to the bigger vision, obviously.
Right.
And then you have to tackle that one definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So where is your money coming from? And then also where are your marketing efforts? Like where are your leads coming from? Where do you need to be spending that time working on getting yourself out there more? Like what's working to where you almost like you don't have to do as much in that area because it's working so well. You can put less energy and effort into, not less effort, but like, still good quality effort, but you don't have to
Yeah,
like work as difficult. It's not like working like pushing like a rock up a hill. You're just like, oh, this is kind of like downhill over here. I can push it over here and I don't have to do as much work to get so many leads.
yeah. But also what I've seen with the community, with the members in the Moving Women Forward community, when we run these accountability sessions. Actually, there's one tomorrow, by the way. I'm not sure the podcast will be released in time, but it's tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the 12th here, and it will be UK time. But the thing is that when we brainstorm, it's not brainstorming because we have to waste our time sitting on a screen and talking to strangers, or even if they're peers in this case, they're not strangers, they're part of the community. It's an engaging community. But the question is, why am I sitting? Why am I am in front of this laptop or on the screen? Because I really want to get I really want to achieve what I'm planning. So we start with already a positive mindset. If I'm here, means that I'm already interested. It's really what I want to do and what I want to accomplish. So that's a good starting point, right? So that's enough uh, to give you an energy and a motivation to carry
Mm-hmm.
on. And then the second moment is, now I've got the tools, I've got the platform, I've got the support and the guidance. What am I waiting for?
Yeah.
Right? So one of the members said, so we structure it in a way that we also share what we achieved, but also we are clear on what we didn't achieve or what are we stuck
Mm-hmm.
with. So members say, so it's a framework, so it has to work in a proper structure, right? So members share why it hasn't worked according to them, why it hasn't been accomplished, that goal, even if it's a small goal, but it leads up to a bigger
Yeah.
goal, and therefore to a bigger project, right?
Right.
So this is really important, to be open and conscious of something that you haven't achieved. When you share it, that's half of the job done, because that's the moment when you say, okay, I've shared it now. It's like when you go to school, right? It's show and
Right.
tell.
Yeah.
You've done the job, right? So it's better you've shown it, you've told about it to everybody. Now you really have to be on it. Otherwise, what's the purpose of doing everything else and wasting your time
Yeah,
with it?
exactly. And there's something about sharing, not necessarily, I was going to say failures, but it's not necessarily a failure, but just like when things don't work out the way that you were hoping that they would, when you have that vulnerability of sharing that with your community, it really gives you the confidence of like, okay, I shared this, it didn't work out, but now I can go forward again, like I can try again, instead of, if you're like keeping it to yourself and you're not vulnerable with your community to share the hard things, then you can just sit on that and just keep telling yourself like, oh, now I'm a failure because I did this, so I'm not going to try it again. And really, really hurts yourself. But I love that community aspect of getting out there and like sharing your wins, sharing the things that really worked well for you, but also sharing the difficulties and the things that you're like, I thought this was going to work and it didn't. You know, does anyone have any ideas of like what I can do next time to make this better?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're right. One of the members, for example, last month, so it's based on a theme. So we run it on a theme on the elements of digital marketing, right? So last month was all about email marketing. Now we had someone until the end of October, right? We had to achieve within the month, right? What we are set to. The sooner the better,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the space, right? So that's the topic. And this is how we're gonna tackle uh, our goals. So one of the members said, "Okay, I'm stuck with email marketing, not because they didn't have the resources, they didn't have the guidance, they didn't have the support, but they were stuck with the idea of how to start that one email. They have done other emails, but that particular email, they were not clear on why to do it, how to do it, and how to structure in terms of what transformation will bring to the plans and other things around the email marketing, right?
Yeah.
But that moment when you move forward, because you have shared your why you stuck, you've shared your struggle. Maybe we don't want to use negative words, but your challenges,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's where the ideas and the mentoring and the guidance comes in, right? This is where I explained, and the other members also supported with their experience, right? Because everybody can share the experience. And the email marketing and the email in this case, the newsletter is in draft. I know we are in November, but for someone that is procrastinating so much, finding it so challenging and so difficult, it's still a
Yeah.
milestone. Doesn't matter if they didn't reach it at the end of the 30th of October, right?
Right.
10 days into November, it's still good, right? As long as it's done before December, ideally, due to festivities and purchases. And, we have Black Friday here in November, at the end of
Yeah.
November in UK. So all these things, right? It's a bit seasonal. Some people work with seasonal services or products, some others don't, but as long as before then,
Right.
right? So that's how they achieve the the challenge, right? So achieve their milestone, let's say, or their goal for the month.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really like that with like how you're saying like everyone's chiming in because everyone has different expertise, they have different experiences, and they can we also have different viewpoints of you can see something and be like, oh, well, have you thought about this? And it could be something that I would have never thought about, but having that community to where you can talk about things and take people's ideas and just be like, oh, I that's not something I would have thought of, or I had been stuck on this, like my the train car in my brain is just stuck on this one track and I can't move it off of it, and then someone's just like, oh, here, there's a lever over here, I can help you get to this other side that you need to be on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I
Yes.
I love just a good community like that. Just moving forward, helping everyone move forward and move higher.
Yeah. Why not?
Yes,
It's your chance.
exactly.
So it's your chance to be in the part of the community. It's your chance to be part of this supportive and judgment-free environment. So
Hmm.
people are from different backgrounds, from different industries, from different experiences and skills. So uh, there's no judgment in there. So yeah,
Yes,
they all have the goal to move along, to move forward, and achieve their goals and their mission.
yes. Kids, I'm going to tell you an incredible story. A story about how I met your mother, and I'll tell it in less than 9 years. Years ago, I used to spend all of my time editing photos and straightening and cropping and color grading. All of my friends thought I was antisocial, but really, I was just overworked. Then I met Imagine AI, Imagine AI looks at the steps that you take from your raw images to your final products, and then they replicate that so everything looks like your edits. And the best part is that they learn more and more and get better after every single photo shoot. Since I've been using Imagine AI, it has saved me over 200 hours of editing time that I could spend on other things like going to Super Bowl parties and meeting your mom. So if you want some extra time in your life, go to allheartphoto.com/AI and get your first 1,500 images edited for free. That's allheartphoto.com/AI and get back your time. See how I didn't fixate on your Aunt Robin? This is how you tell a story. Now back to the show. Take me through a little bit more of this accountability framework. Where are we going from here?
So we've talked about strategy. We've talked about the piece of paper or the device where we are noting down our plans and our goals. To give a little bit of structure to your audience and viewers if they're viewing it from your group, to give a bit of structure, I really recommend that when you note down what you're building, so what you're working on, it's really important that you remove it straight out of the list once it's done. This is not because you're tackling things around, but this is to give you a sense or a feeling that this has gone out, but there's something else coming in. So it's a bit of an ongoing, evergreen piece of content that you are working on. Once one is out, then something else is coming in. That doesn't mean that you are doing more things. This gives you it's like a tracker. It keeps you on track and shows you that you are really not going back and forth on the same topic or on the same project, right?
Right.
Where you are removing that block. You are into the new block when you're building your house, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's a builder, obviously.
Yeah.
We are not building houses, but it's little tiles. Let's say tiles. Okay, let's not talk about big blocks, right? It's little tiles, right?
Yeah.
Those mosaic tiles or anything,
right? Yeah.
You add them to your list.
Okay.
And it's really, I want to emphasize that a lot. It's really important that you share where are you stuck with. We do it in a simple sentence. I am stuck with, and then it comes the why, and then it comes the how, and then we feed our ideas, we feed our knowledge, and we feed our expertise to the why and the how. And therefore, that's how you take that piece of challenge and turn it into an action without sitting on it and saying, oh, but I'm stuck. What I'm going to do? So I procrastinate sometime, right? But if I procrastinate because I don't want to do it for a good reason, it has to be a really valid reason.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense. If you're losing money on it, that's not a good reason.
Right.
Going back to the money, right?
Yeah. Okay. So like constantly moving those, like as you're finishing those tiles, moving on to the next one, not just like going back to the last tile and trying to rethink it or, spend extra time on there, just evergreen, always moving forward.
Exactly. There's always time to rework on that, to go back to what you have done. Because you want to improve a process, you want to improve a strategy, you want to improve the implementation, you want to improve anything you want to improve on that piece of work. But it has to go out, because then you're stuck into that, you're stuck into perfection, and you will carry on working over and over on the same thing and forgetting the rest that builds all together. Right? The house, the tiles, you need other things around tiles, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I call myself a recovering perfectionist because I used to go over those same tiles and just like buff out all the corners and make sure that it looks perfect. And like, oh, well, maybe I need to go over this one more time because I wanted it to be perfect before I put it out there. And I don't remember the first time that I heard it. I may have been like Jenna Kutcher back in the day, but it was done is better than perfect. Like just
Absolutely.
like get it finished, get it out there. You can always come back and revisit it again, and maybe polish it up a little bit, maybe from something that you have learned from those next few tiles that you're going down. You can go back and be like, ooh, I learned this, let me add that to the tile that I've already placed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're creating, if you're shooting a content, I don't know, you're doing some photography or branding or whatever you're working, for example, John, I'm sure that once that day, right, you shoot during the day, it's
Mm-hmm.
done. The next day, I'm sure it can be something done even better or bigger,
Yep.
in the same,
Yep.
with the same client, doesn't matter. But you got to move on because there's another client or there is someone else that is wanting something from you, or you are not able to offer to this someone else that piece of work because you are stuck with the same work. Does that make sense? But not
Yes.
because
Oh yeah.
you're neglecting the client, right? You've delivered for the
Right.
client. It's done. So move along.
Yes.
Move on. Something else, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I hear that from photographers where they're like, "Okay, I just left a photo shoot and now I'm thinking of all the things that I should have done during, or I should have had them do this," and just like still living there. It's like, "Okay, well that's great. Now you're learning. Take all of those ideas, put it with the next client because you can't go back
Absolutely.
and, reshoot this. It's already happened. Like take that you're growing and learning and move it on to the next one."
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
is very common to business owners, small businesses, especially even if they have a little team of 2, 3, 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's still very difficult to scale up due to this. Uh, uh, um, it's not a belief, but it's like you get into this wheel, hamster wheel, right?
Right.
When you are comfortable with doing what you do, right? And then the other things become too big. Whereas on the other hand, they are not too big because they are part of the process. So you cannot focus all your efforts in one piece and then forget about the rest of it, right? Even if your team members can help you,
Right.
you still got to drive that train, right? That you mentioned earlier. So you still have to be um, in front of of the ride and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and that is such a good thing too. Just like to live that, to just keep that in your mind as you're moving forward. That it's always good to learn, but you also need to keep going forward, or you're just going to keep spinning in that hamster wheel.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Jonah, are there any like last steps or things that the listeners should know, like as we kind of wrap up today's episode?
It's definitely the action. The action moment is the implementation of your planning. It's
Mm,
the ideas out of you've taken the ideas, right?
right.
Let's go back. You've taken the ideas out of your planning drawer. You've started with one idea. Perfect. Do the things that you have in your planning drawer, or let's say in the bigger project, right? Do all these little pieces of the project, right? Okay, let's go. Let's rewind.
Yeah.
So you have broken down your project. Now, these little elements of your project, are they linked up together? Do they make sense?
Mm,
Or are you working on totally different things? So, for example, if you're creating, I don't know, you still think of your newsletter, but in order to have a newsletter, you will need subscribers.
yeah.
Do you have those subscribers? That's how you work on the same area of that project.
Okay.
Now you need that lead magnet to get those subscribers, right? We know how to get that. If you don't know, it's part of the work, right? Of the process and community support. But it has to be a link in between these little chains, right? They need to create a proper chain, a necklace, right? With all these little chains all together, tied up together.
Yeah.
Or if you are doing this email marketing again, do you have design? Do you have templates? Do you have photography to go with it for your products or your services? Or are you sending something from, I don't know, when you were employed somewhere in the compliance department, which is good, but it's not relevant to what you do
Right.
nowadays, right? So it's all tied up together and linked together.
Yeah.
So if the focus is in one project, everything has to come around that project.
Okay.
And it cannot be something, I don't know, uh, I'm working on email marketing, but tomorrow I'm gonna start on creating a new ad campaign. If it's related to the same thing, it makes sense. But if you do an ad campaign of something totally different, it's not gonna work. It's so much broken and segmented that it's not gonna build up in a proper chain.
Right.
You have to glue the pieces. It's going to be hard to glue all the pieces together.
Yes.
Whereas when they work together, they really get attached to each other in a proper way, in a structured way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're not building a bunch of different chains and like leaving this length of chain and then going to build another one that looks completely different. It's focusing on all the different little links in the chain that will eventually come together.
Absolutely. They have to lead to your bigger project,
Yes.
to your idea that it was in the planning drawer and that you made it to take it out of the
Right.
planning drawer.
Yes. Okay. Well, this has been great. I love all the visuals too of just like I don't know. I'm a visual person of like seeing the links and like actually visualizing the drawer and like taking your ideas out and planning on like just working on this instead of going back and forth and then of course with all the community aspect of sharing and growing together. So yeah, before we like wrap up this episode and let people know where they can find you, where they can work with you, communicate online, and all of that, there's part of the show that I like to do where we talk about what we're loving this week, and it can be literally anything: a new TV show, book, movie, whatever, new food. What are you loving this week?
Wow! So this comes at such a great moment, exact time. So I was scrolling yesterday on Google because I went for Google
Uh,
this time. I didn't go for Instagram or anything else. I wanted to find out some snacks recipe for teenagers. So I've got a teenager at home,
mm-hmm.
teenager son. Uh, I was looking for some recipes because they're he's really hungry and it's not that he's hungry all the time, but those little snacks, those little nibbles.
Yeah.
And I managed to find a great recipe which I baked. There were some muffins, like peanut butter muffins. That
Ooh.
was great. That made my evening last night, and it made the afternoon for him this afternoon. So it worked really well.
Yeah, that sounds really good. What all is it? Just like peanut butter muffins, or like are there
Banana and peanut butter,
banana and
actually.
peanut butter? Okay.
Peanut butter, yeah.
Yeah.
No flour in it. So that was
Oh,
quite, a surprise. Yeah.
interesting. Okay. Huh. But they
Came up really
they
nice.
turned out
Yeah.
really nice. Okay. I love it. I love
Yeah, they turned out, yeah.
I love finding those new recipes that are just it's a little different and then you try it and it's like pleasantly surprised with this. This is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You expect the unexpected, if it makes sense, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Turned out good. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna stay in the food genre. I'm loving these pink lady apples lately. My daughters have been I don't know. It seems like every few months or so they shift to a different fruit that they're just obsessed
Well,
with.
tell me about
Yeah.
it. I've got two boys, so.
Yeah, yeah. And like it was strawberries for a while and just eating strawberries by the pint for so long, but now it's apples and we have really been loving pink lady apples, and they're just like they're pretty tart but also very very crisp and sweet too, and we just can't get enough of them. We're buying like a bushel full a week.
Amazing. We're into pink ladies as well. So my eldest like
Oh,
those, and the
nice.
other ones like my youngest, yeah, likes the gala apples. I don't know.
Uh huh.
They're apples after all, are they? So,
Yeah. Yeah, my youngest really likes the like the green Granny Smith, the really tart ones.
wow,
Yeah, which
brave.
yeah, I know. I'm like, you're the only one in the house that will eat these, but we will buy them for you.
Absolutely. This is how you stand out, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But well, yeah. Well,
That
Jonah,
was
thank you
fun.
so much for being on the show. Let everyone know where they can find you online and connect.
I'd love to connect with your audience. They can they can Google Moving With Me Forward Community. It will show up on the first page of Google for different reasons. But yes, they will find there all the information there is about the community, the accountability group, and spotlight opportunities, and so on. Whereas for me, they can Google me up, Jonah. Then my surname is Hysa, but I'm sure you can type it in the notes for the audience
Yes.
to not misspell it. Right. So yeah, I'd love to connect with everybody. And yes, I've got some resources. They can find also resources on my page. I've got resources about Instagram, so practical steps again. I've got resources about LinkedIn, how to optimize the platform, and obviously around email marketing and visibility products, basically about toolkits and everything else.
Okay.
So thank you so much for the space, John.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely, I did too. Thank you for being on the show, and yeah, I will have links for all of that, so everyone listening, y'all can just scroll down in the comment or in the show notes, and then and link up with Jonah. But yeah, thank you so much for
Amazing.
being a guest on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. As always, you can check out all the things in the show notes at podcast.allheartphoto.com. You can also join the community on Patreon to get these episodes ad-free and to get a lot of bonus coaching content that I have on there. We do portfolio critiques. I just did a breakdown and walkthrough of how I create different double exposures through Photoshop. And it is like, some of them are super easy, like 3 minutes and you're done. And that is all on Patreon. So you can go check that out. Patreon.com/witpod. And yeah, go check out Jona on social media. She'll be linked in this episode's post. You can also check her out at jona.hysa underscore, that's it, yes, underscore digital. And you can figure out how to spell digital. I don't need to spell that out for you, but go follow Jona. Go let us know what you thought about today's episode. Share it with someone who needs help getting their ideas out of that drawer and into fruition. Have an amazing week. I will see you next time. Keep creating and keep making the world a better place. Bye, y'all. I think we're done.